Listen, so their policy is you can't record in here.
You're NYPD now? You're NYPD now?
Always been. Listen,
no.
You have to leave because you're not allowed to record in here.
You want to read their policies?
Their policies that you cannot record in here.
The first line.
Their staff is asking us to remove you, and I don't remember you. I
remember you.
Oh, that's nice. I hope you like me. Time to go. All right?
Why would I need to leave? I have a right to be here, and I'm conducting business.
No, you're not conducting business. And the thing is that you have to go through.
Read the policy right there. I'm handing it to you.
Told me.
Who is he?
The security guard, the head security guard said that you need to leave, and they have a right to kick you out.
Photography and photocopying policy, right? I'm going to read it to you because if you violate my rights, you can't say that.
Sir,
you didn't know.
That's our job.
It's no negotiation. It's no.
So you could just ask anybody to leave a public building just because.
Yes.
They want you to.
They
what
said
if I was
complaints from every staff member on every single floor that you're recording them and you're being a nuisance, and you're not allowed to do that inside the library.
How am I being a nuisance?
You have to leave.
How am I being a nuisance?
You are recording them and you're not allowed to do that inside.
So photography is a nuisance?
Sir,
can I speak to your supervisor, please?
They can't record here, right? You willing to? Nope. All right.
Read this. Handheld cameras are permitted.
Listen.
First line. Handheld cameras are permitted. This is their rules.
You have to.
Why?
Why? Because you are not allowed.
What crime am I committing?
You're not part of any media. You do not have prior permission to record in here. You now have to leave.
I do have permission.
Step out civilly.
I want to speak to your supervisor.
No problem. He's going to tell you the same thing.
No, he's not.
Tell you.
He's going to honor his oath to the Constitution.
Make it bad.
I don't want to deal with you because I already got you on camera.
Go ahead.
Cursing me out, so I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with you. I'd rather deal with somebody that I never had contact with. Because right now it seems like retaliation.
I don't want to deal with you. I'd rather speak with someone I've never dealt with before because right now it feels like retaliation. Alright guys, get ready because what you're about to witness will push your patience to the absolute limit. This isn't just another public confrontation. It's a revealing look at how easily authority can manipulate policy to suppress the truth. It begins like any ordinary audit. Calm, respectful, and completely by the rules. The auditor walks into a New York public library with a camera recording, simply documenting a public space funded by taxpayers. But within moments, everything takes a dramatic turn. Officers arrive, not because any crime has been committed, but because the recording makes the staff feel uncomfortable. That single word, uncomfortable, becomes their entire justification. What follows is a disturbing display of arrogance as policies are turned into weapons against constitutional rights.
You didn't investigate at all. You didn't do no investigation. You just went off of his word, right?
Wants you to respond.
Why are you asking me to leave a public place I have a right to be?
They want you to leave, so you gotta leave.
Okay, what if they wanted me to smack myself? I gotta smack myself?
No, that's different.
Right. I have a right to be here just like everybody else. I'm not being disorderly. I'm walking around peacefully recording. The public workers. Can I record you? Can I record you? So why can't I record the city workers?
They're not city workers.
They work. New York is funded.
They're security guards.
The public library is funded by tax dollars.
You record me all you want.
I can record government workers in the course of their duty. Read case law. You need to read case law because you enforce the law.
My job right now
is
to get you out of this building.
Why? What crime did I commit?
They don't want you in here.
Why would they ask me to leave?
You're being disorderly. You're being a nuisance, and now you have other people watching.
How am I being a nuisance? How?
You were
by simply recording?
They asked you to stop recording.
They never asked me to leave. They never asked me to leave.
Because I can ask him and he can say the opposite.
I have on camera. Have you guys ever asked me to leave since I've been here? Have you asked me to leave? Have you asked me to leave since I've been here? Nope. First thing they said when I came in the building was you can record.
Listen, you can hang out here, wait. I'm
going to wait for your supervisor.
My lieutenant's going to be here.
Why not honor your oath? Why not protect my rights?
I'm honoring my oath.
I'm in a public building.
These nice men called me here, and they called us to escort you out of this building, and that's as far
why
as
would you escort me out the building?
Continue any more conversations.
You escort me out if I'm being disorderly, if I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be, if I'm impeding business.
They said you were not allowed to record.
Can I finish my sentence?
Can
I finish my sentence?
I work with people in New York.
No discussion, no reasoning, just control. The auditor calmly reads their own posted policy out loud. Handheld cameras are allowed. Yet the officer completely ignores it, demanding that he leave immediately. The irony is impossible to miss. They're enforcing rules they haven't even taken the time to read. The man isn't shouting, isn't causing any disturbance. He's simply standing there quietly recording. But somehow, that alone becomes enough of an excuse for them to act. When he asks to speak with a supervisor, they suddenly label it as disorderly conduct. What we're witnessing here isn't about preserving order. It's about silencing accountability. The officer's voice grows colder, almost mechanical, repeating, "You have to leave," like a rehearsed script. it becomes a chilling reminder of unquestioning obedience.
And that's what they've asked
Right,
me to
you
do
work
here
for
today.
me. You work for me.
I also work for them.
You work for me.
So you understand that, right?
And they're not exercising their rights. I am.
Yeah. No,
Peacefully.
They are peacefully asking us to escort you out.
For what crime?
You're not allowed to record in here.
He just said I was. And it says right here on their policies.
He
Read their
He
policies.
actually just said you weren't allowed to record in
He
here.
doesn't know what he's talking about.
Listen, he's the head security guard as far as I'm
Read the
concerned.
policy.
And we were asked to escort you
Read
out.
their policy.
I don't need to read their policy.
So I'm not violating their policy, so why would you ask me to leave?
I abide by what the security
And I'm not
guards
breaking
say.
the law.
Listen, this is a civil matter, and
I don't want to talk to you no more because this is retaliation. You're trying to retaliate against me
Retaliate for what?
because I recorded you before. So
I don't remember you ever.
I remember you. I remember you. You work at Midtown South, right?
It's on my press bar.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that. I already know.
It's right here.
If I was somewhere I'm not supposed to be, if I was cursing people, if I was being disorderly,
Listen, I was here to escort
every
you
time
out
I
of the
talk, you
gas.
cut me off.
Listen, like you said, you
Me
don't wanna
simply
speak, then don't
recording,
speak.
me recording is not a disorder. Is not a disturbance.
You're being a disturbance to these people. They
How?
asked you to leave. I don't know.
Because they don't like what I'm doing. What if they didn't like my shirt?
really-
What if they didn't like my religion? You're gonna escort me out of a public building?
This is
Because
just about
this is
you
a
recording
right.
inside
It's
the
called,
library.
it's called freedom of religion. So if I was praying
The staff
here,
has asked you to leave.
Ma'am,
I don't know what more you want me to say.
if I
or
was
do.
praying in this library and they didn't like that I was my religion, they wanted me out because I was praying. You want to enforce their feelings, or do I have freedom of religion?
Are you praying right now?
I wanted to.
So
I came to this library for
Go
multiple
ahead and
reasons.
pray.
You want to ask me to leave while I'm praying because they don't like my religion?
What
We
is
didn't
going
find
on
you
right here?
praying.
We didn't find you praying.
I'm
You're
going to pray
recording
before I
people.
leave.
You're being a nuisance, he insists, twisting a peaceful act of recording into something that sounds suspicious. The conversation reveals something far deeper, a complete misunderstanding of the Constitution by the very people sworn to defend it. Every calm and respectful word from the citizen is answered with growing frustration from the officers. When logic no longer works, they hide behind policy as though it were absolute law. But the truth is, policy ends where the Constitution begins, and they appear to have forgotten that. Then the conversation takes a powerful turn when the auditor compares it to religion. If they didn't like my religion, would you force me out for praying? The officer has no response. His silence speaks louder than words. It's a moment that exposes the danger of allowing emotion to control authority. What started with nothing more than a camera has now become a test of freedom itself. Speech, religion, and expression all begin to crumble beneath the excuse of comfort. The man isn't creating a disturbance. He's standing up for a principle. Yet these officers, entrusted with protecting liberty, become its greatest obstacle. Their badge transforms into a barrier separating the people from their own constitutional rights.
I came here to conduct business.
The only way
I came here to utilize the library for its purposes.
The only way I'm leaving here right now is if my lieutenant tells me you can stay.
Why wouldn't I be able to stay? I'm not being disorderly. All I'm doing is walking around quietly recording the New York City public workers, which I have a right to do. I can record the government while you're at work.
You'll see what my lieutenant says, okay? How about that? Deal? And then
Sure, that's why I asked for him.
And if you're good to stay, then I'll leave.
The
No problem.
Constitution and the law says I'm okay.
Constitution has
What
nothing
you
to do
swore an
with
oath
this
to do.
library. No.
What does the Constitution have to do with?
Business.
Does the Constitution have to do with your job?
Oh. This is.
Does the
this is
Constitution have to do with your
This
job?
has nothing to do with the Constitution. This
It
is
does for
just
me.
us asking
It
you
does
to
for
leave
me.
Because they said you're being disorderly, and they're not comfortable with you recording
you
inside
wanna-
here, and they said that you're not allowed to record inside here. We don't
Read
have
their
to.
policies. Read it. Read the first line. Read the first bulletin.
They just gave this to me. That last bullet point says
Let me
no
see.
photographs of the staff, other researchers, or certain reading rooms may be taken.
That's what.
Okay,
they're
they work for the
about.
government. There's case law that I can
doesn't
record
matter.
It
them.
That's
doesn't
part of their
matter.
policy,
That's what we're
and they
here
don't
to
wanna be
explain to you.
recorded.
They said that the staff members don't want you recording.
Okay, I'm still not committing a crime. I have a right to be in a public
And they
building.
have the right to escort you out.
Why would they do that if I'm conducting business?
But you're not anymore. They're asking you to
I
stop.
am though, because I still have to
If you
file
wanna stay in
complaints.
this- if you wanna stay in
I
this
still have to
library,
file
you have to
complaints.
stop though.
I still have to file complaints, and I still have to do a FOIA request.
You want
And I still want to pray before I leave.
How do you file a complaint?
On the first floor.
First,
Circulation desk, they'll handle a piece of paper and
do you want to go to the first floor?
I was going there before you guys came.
Well, listen, I have no problem you filing a complaint.
If I was committing a crime, then you have a right.
Now the lieutenant arrives, and for a moment, hope remains that reason will finally prevail. But instead, the confusion only grows deeper. Even after being shown clear written proof that filming is permitted, the officers refuse to back down. They continue calling his actions disorderly, a word they've completely stripped of its true meaning. The auditor remains calm, reminding them that their oath is not to policy, but to the Constitution, the highest law of the land. His voice becomes stronger, with conviction flowing through every word. You swore to protect my rights, not the library's feelings, but all he receives in return are empty stares. They refuse to acknowledge the truth standing right before them, that simply standing inside a public building with a camera in hand is not a crime. It is a constitutional right.
To escort me out. This is a public building.
Yes.
You cannot put policy over law. You cannot put policy over law. What if the policy said no black people? You want to enforce that? You can't put policy over law.
That's not going to happen.
The government can't make policies that violate the law or the Constitution. Yeah, I'm going there. You put policy over law? Since when? Fuck out of here. I recorded libraries in every 5 boroughs, all 5 boroughs. And it's not a problem because it's not against the law. You swore to protect my rights. You're supposed to come here and enforce the law, not their policy.
One more floor?
Am I being detained?
You're not in cuffs. No, you're not.
So I'm free. So I'm free.
No, you
Am I being detained?
You have to leave.
Am I detained for a crime?
Being detained means you're being stopped and you're under investigation.
Am I being detained for a crime?
I just explained to you not being detained.
All right, then, so that means I'm free, right?
I feel like she's explaining things.
Am I detained for a crime?
Come on.
Am I detained for a crime?
We're going to go downstairs and you can make a complaint.
You can go wherever you want. I'm free. I'm not detained.
We are going downstairs and you can either leave or you can go make a complaint. They don't want you in here. They have a right to not have you in here. If you want to take that up civilly, go right ahead and you can make a complaint and start that process.
The conversation continues to unravel as the officers cling even tighter to their rule book. One officer even admits that this has nothing to do with the Constitution. And right there lies the heart of the problem. They've become enforcers of comfort instead of defenders of the law. The auditor reminds them again and again, policy cannot override freedom. If a policy banned a certain group of people, would you enforce that too? The silence that follows speaks louder than any legal text ever could. Every passing second of the footage reveals a truth the public deserves to witness. Too many officers have forgotten exactly who they are meant to serve. The situation becomes far bigger than one man holding a camera. It becomes a reflection of a nation struggling to remember the very principles it was built upon.
However, their policy says right here, no.
I don't care about their policy, bro. I don't care about their policy, bro. I'm not breaking the law.
What you're doing in here,
I'm not breaking the law.
No,
they don't. No, they don't.
You're violating the
No, they don't. I have a constitutional right to record in public. It's called the First Amendment. It's called the First Amendment. You know what the Constitution is? The highest law of the land. You can't put a fucking library's policy over the Constitution. Are you crazy? You swore over to the Constitution. You didn't swear over to the library's policy. And if they deny me public services, I'm gonna sue them. If you violate my rights, I'm gonna sue you. You ain't swear over to the library's policy. You forgot what your oath is to? The Constitution. Smug ass. Took an oath for what? Where's your lieutenant at so I can speak to him?
He's on his way. He's on another job.
He probably has more pressing matters than somebody exercising their rights in a public building. Listen, what? Are you gonna honor your oath?
It is what it is. I'm
so what is it? No, it's not.
Escort you out.
Let me ask you a question.
You violated their policy.
Let me ask you a question. Can you put that policy over the law?
Did you not violate their policy that's right here?
What's higher, that policy or their law?
This is their right. This is their building. This is their establishment.
This is our building. It's the people's building.
Their establishment,
it's a people's
and they have
building.
A right to escort
it's a
you
public
out.
building.
I'm here to do this civilly,
I pay taxes to be in this building.
Here, okay? My lieutenant's pulling up. Is that him right there?
As the minutes pass, frustration begins to fill the air. The officers claim that photographing staff members is a crime, a statement so completely false that it borders on the absurd. The auditor challenges every claim, demanding they identify the law he's supposedly violating. They can't. He's surrounded, boxed in, yet remains completely in control. His knowledge tears apart every weak excuse they throw at him. Still, they refuse to stop, not because he's wrong, but because backing down would mean admitting their own ignorance. "You can't place policy above the Constitution," he says with the confidence of someone who understands exactly what's at stake. The lieutenant stands nearby in silence, watching the integrity of his oath slowly unravel in real time.
Well, he could come find me.
That's not him. That's traffic. It's the lights on.
You put policy over law?
I'm putting them right now.
Of course you do.
This is my job.
Of course you do.
This is
Of
what I'm
course
here for.
your job is to
Do you
enforce the
wanna
law.
go? Do you want to make a complaint?
Your job is to enforce the law. Is there a law being broken right now?
Do you want to come?
What law am I breaking?
Do you want to make a complaint?
Yeah,
Walk away
don't.
from my
Yeah, avoid that
lieutenant?
question.
Come on.
Avoid that question. What law am I
I've
breaking?
already answered you multiple times.
What
You're
law am I
being
breaking?
disorderly. You're not
How?
under arrest. You
How
are
am
not
how am I
under
being
arrest.
disorderly, ma'am?
Because you're
I'm
violating
recording?
their policy.
Photography
right here,
isn't a
right
crime
here.
in
Look,
public.
No photographs of the staff, other
Photography
researchers,
isn't a
or certain
crime in
reading rooms may
public,
be taken.
and you can't
wanna
turn
watch
photography
every
into-
Why'd you show us that piece
You
of
can't
paper?
turn
Now that
photography
now that
into
we
a
pointed
crime.
that out, now it doesn't
You
matter.
can't
Now
to
the
show
piece
you
of paper
how
means nothing.
because I record in libraries all over the city.
You're contradicting
Because I have the
yourself.
right to.
You're contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm following the law.
Yes, you are.
The law that you swore to protect. You enforce the law. You
That's
enforce
what we're
policies.
doing.
So
That's
what
we're
law
doing.
am I
We're doing our
breaking?
job.
What law am I
being
breaking?
disorderly.
How? By
Oh, the
recording?
lieutenant is right here.
Okay. Is he going to help me file my complaint?
He keeps saying he's violating his rights, that we're violating his rights because he's clearly breaking their policy that says no photographs of the staff, other researchers, or certain reading rooms may be taken. And he's saying we're violating his constitutional right that he's allowed to record in here, and their policy doesn't matter. And he requested you because
you
we're
doing?
violating his rights.
All right.
Well, this is what I said. I said you can't put their library policy over the law. I'm not breaking the law, which means I have a right to be here. It's a public building.
Okay.
My taxes fund this building. Do I not have a right to be here?
Okay.
Finally, after what feels like endless back and forth, they issue the order. Leave or face prosecution. No law has been broken. No complaint has been filed. Only feelings disguised as authority. The auditor calmly gathers their names and badge numbers, knowing the camera has already recorded everything that truly matters. What began as a peaceful visit ends as yet another example of how easily citizens can have their rights stripped away in plain sight. As he walks away, the disbelief in his voice is impossible to ignore. He understands this was never just about him. It's about every person who dares to hold those in power accountable and is punished simply for doing so.
Is at the library doesn't want you at this location.
Why? Because I'm exercising my rights in public. I'm conducting business in this building, and once I finish my business, I was going to leave.
I know they don't want you here anymore.
I have to file a complaint. I have the right to redress my government.
I know, but you have to do that. You could probably file a complaint outside, but you have to leave. They don't want you here.
Am I breaking the law?
Well,
Nobody asked me to leave. You guys are the first person that came up to me.
you have to leave.
So if I don't leave, I'm going to get arrested?
Well, yeah.
I need to hear you say that. If I don't leave this building, what's going to happen?
They're going to prosecute you.
You're going to arrest me?
No, the New York City Public Library is going to prosecute you.
Okay, so I have a reasonable amount of time to leave, don't I?
We're asking you now. Can you please leave?
Okay, I can't leave through that way. I got to leave through this way.
Which way? That way?
And I still need the information that I came here to get.
I'll give you
Are you going to help me with that?
Yep. Whatever you need outside.
All right. I need all your cards
Yeah, come on.
and all of your names. So you're saying that you could just trespass people from public for no crime?
They don't want you
No
at this
crime.
location.
No crime. It doesn't matter what they want. I'm not
They don't
breaking the
want you.
law.
You have to leave, sir.
You going to help me get my
I'll help you outside,
information?
absolutely.
So you're just going to violate my rights over a policy, right? That's fine.
And this is exactly why we record. Because without the camera, their version of events would have become the accepted truth. This is what real accountability looks like. Uncomfortable, confrontational, yet absolutely necessary. The officers in this video forgot the oath they swore, but we cannot forget ours. To stand up, remain aware, and defend the rights that far too many people take for granted. If we fail to expose moments like these, they will continue happening quietly, hidden behind closed doors. Knowledge is power, and the camera remains the strongest tool for revealing the truth. Always record, always question, and always know your rights.